What's up guys, it's Foster, and as you can tell from the title of this video, I took my Civic Type R out to the track recently for a weekend at Black Hawk Raceway, which is a local track to us in Illinois. And also, as you probably know already, things didn't exactly go to plan. So today in this video, I'm gonna go over what went wrong and if you can expect the same things to happen to you if you take your daily driver out to the track. Okay, let's talk about the main thing that happened and part of the reason why I was a little disappointed when I was taking my car back from the track weekend. Not so much in the car, but more in myself. Since I'm used to driving rear-wheel drive cars, I really had to kind of relearn how to drive taking the Type R out on track since it's front-wheel drive. And one of my very first sessions, I was pushing too hard in a corner that you really don't want to go too wide. And sure enough, I actually managed to curb my wheel because there was a really steep curb on the exit of the corner and the car pushed out a little too wide for me to catch it. So I did end up damaging my prized possession, my beautiful CE28. So now I'm gonna try and figure out how we can get these fixed. Because mistakes happen, and in the end of the day, it's a car, it's fixable. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely an annoying expense that I didn't expect when I started tracking my daily driver. So when I went off, I kind of like hopped this curb and I heard this like loud grinding noise. And unfortunately, that's because this aluminum skid pan underneath my car must have hit the curb, because you can see it got pretty tore up there. Luckily, the control arms and all the important stuff seems to have made it undamaged. So nothing really important got damaged, just this skid pan, which I ordered a replacement. It was around $50, so I'm not too worried about the price of it. I did also break some pop clips, which I ordered in. For the event, since I didn't have pop clips, I just used some duct tape to hold it all together so it wasn't flopping around. But yeah, tonight we're gonna work on this thing and put it back to how it should be. The other thing that I should have expected to get damaged when I was out at the track, but I didn't fully consider, is the tires. Now, I bought really nice all-season tires thinking that I was gonna drive my FK8 in the snow. I know it's pretty foolish because I got this thing, I loved it so much, I didn't want it to get rusty in the Iowa winters, so I ended up not really driving this thing in the winter. So realistically, I should have gone with more of a summer performance tire, but instead I went with these all seasons, and as you can see, they got pretty chunked up at the track, especially since this car's front wheel drive. It eats through tires a lot faster. So I did rotate the front to the rears at one point to kind of even the tire wear out, but I really should have gone with like an RS4 or a nice summer tire that delivers some high performance driving as well. So for my next set, I think I'm gonna have to do that. More wheel drama. When I was actually done with the track weekend, I was gonna rotate my tires one last time, and when I went to go do it, I noticed that one of the wheel studs wasn't threading right, which was not a good sign, and sure enough, I managed to cross-thread the hell out of this thing, so tonight I'm gonna have to get that changed out. Luckily, I got a new one ordered in from Honda, and we'll find out how hard of an install it is to do. Hopefully it's not too bad. This is unrelated to the stuff that broke over the weekend, but just in general, this car is absolutely filthy. It is part of the issue of owning a black car. It's really hard to keep clean, and especially after our long road trip as well. It got covered with dirt, and of course the wheels are covered with brake dust since they're white wheels. So when I have them off to get them refinished, I'll make sure they get nice and cleaned up. And this didn't happen at the track, but I do have a bunch of bird shit all over, so I'm not looking forward to cleaning that up. But we'll get it all done, and this thing will be looking brand new. Oh, baby! Oh, man, I don't love it. I don't know.
It's coming out.
Is
more.
it?
It is coming out.
So we just got to keep doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing Kevin showed up because I needed an extra set of hands to get that wheel off. That stud was literally so seized on there, or I should say the lug was so seized on the stud. It was pretty crazy. So this is the one with all the goobered up threads you can see. Now I'm gonna try and just remove the stud and replace it with my new one. right, so I removed the shield. Give ourselves a little bit more space. All right, so you gotta kind of just wiggle it around, but you should be able to get your wheel stud out the back. Let's take a minute to appreciate how messed up this old wheel stud was. I think by the time we finally got the lug nut off of there, there's no threads left on that thing at all. So here is my new OEM one. That's really what it should look like. All right, we're back working on the Type R today, and the first thing I want to get done is taking my wheels to the wheel repair shop. I actually found a place local to me here in Iowa called Des Moines Wheel Repair, and they specialize in fixing curb rash wheels, and they also powder coat them as well. So I'm gonna take the wheels over there and we're gonna see what they say and if they can fix them or not. Okay, we made it to Des Moines Wheel Repair and I had a blast driving the STI. I didn't have to air it out, but I love doing that everywhere you go. So now let's get the wheels unloaded and see what they say about helping me out with my Volk wheels. So we got the wheels dropped off and I'm back at the shop, and I'm just gonna keep making progress on the Type R until I hear about the wheels, and hopefully they're able to fix them, and then I'll go get those a little later. But for right now, I'm working on this wheel stud, and the goal is to try and get this to pull through all the way. So I'm gonna thread this lug nut on there, and then we're gonna use the impact gun to try and get the wheel stud all the way through. Kevin brought me a wheel stud installer, which just looks like a ball bearing and a hunk of metal, but supposedly it's gonna help pull the wheel stud through, so we're gonna give this a try. Awesome. Turns out that having the right tool for the job really does make a difference. We got the new skid pan installed, and it turns out a skid pan really is an appropriate name for this device because, as you can see, I had a good skid on this one, and it helped protect the car. So now we got this all changed out, and even though no one's gonna see this underneath the car, it makes me really happy knowing that we're putting it back to how this car was before I destroyed it at the track. All right, I got my wheels back from Des Moines Wheel Repair, and I am absolutely cheesing because they did a great job fixing these things up and removing that curb rash as well as matching the paint pretty darn close. I'm having a hard time even telling which one is the original finish and which one is the repaired wheels, so I think that's a pretty good sign. But before we get these on the car, I do have one more surprise I want to show you guys. So my surprise is I have these authentic Rays wheel stickers that I never put on the wheels yet. And at first I didn't know if I wanted to run them, but you know, with all the repairs and stuff done to the wheels, I think they need a little bit of bling now. Last but not least, I got some new lug nuts for the Type R as well, since that one got damaged and all of them kind of got scratched up from using the impact gun. I figured if I'm gonna refresh the wheels, I might as well have some fresh looking lug nuts too. And the nice part is if I damage a lug nut in the future, these are the same ones I had on there before, so I'll have extras as well. So So you guys have watched me fix up my Honda Civic Type R and pretty much get it back to the condition that it was in before I took it to the track. But I still haven't answered the most important part of this video, and that is the question of should you track your daily driver? Now obviously that's going to depend on what you daily drive and how your track experience goes, but for me personally, I was not nearly expecting it to be as expensive as it ended up being. So why don't we run through some of the expenses real quick, and I can tell you guys what the total expense was for my weekend. So my HPD ticket was $325, then I got a hotel for us at $202. I spent $180 on gas that weekend. Then the wheel repair was the big ouch, $650. I got some OEM Honda parts for $73, as well as some lug nuts for $75. So if you do the math, that ends up being $1,505. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I spent that much money on one weekend, but you know, at the same point in time, I want to be honest with you guys, and if you take your car to the track, this is an expense that you have to be willing to pay. In fact, you could actually have to pay more if you end up putting your car into a wall and completely totaling it. But that doesn't answer the question, should you take your daily driver to the track? For me personally, I would do it all over again. As crazy as it sounds, I had an absolute blast being out on track and learning the limits of my car. And even with the wheel damage aside, I had an absolutely great weekend. So I hope this video doesn't deter you guys from taking your car out to the track, but you might want to think twice if you're taking something that's really nice. You have to be prepared for it to get damaged. So I hope this video serves as a bit of a warning for you for that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give me a like and hit that subscribe button if you like my Type R content, and I will see you guys in the next video.